So, just in case y'all missed our last video, merch. We're official. We're verified.
We're not verified.
We're getting close to being verified. Welcome back to Lost Legend TV. We are
Rated MC,
and I'm Ray.
and I guess that makes me James.
So we're going to talk about The Grudge,
And not the 2002 film,
the remake.
the remake. This is another film where we watched the trailer, did a review for the trailer, and
Bill fucked it up.
Bill, that fuck, he's this close to being fired.
Yeah, I would fire him already. Just we don't have anybody who can tolerate our fucking asses.
I guess not. Nah. One day we'll show you Bill, like in a behind the scenes film. You'll see him.
Like in every video, he just stands over there and he gives us like there's this prompt of words we have to say. We read. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we go off script and he gets pissed off about it.
Yeah.
We like going on tangents, but fuck Bill.
He's just smirking in the corner.
He talks. He edits himself out.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so I'm gonna say when I saw the trailer for this, I was really excited. I was afraid this is gonna be like a trashy reboot, but this has an all-star fucking cast.
And one of the main reasons I wanted to watch the film is because they had John Cho in the film. And I actually like John Cho. And to be honest, my favorite film with him is a comedy film, but still, I see him as a good actor.
You got him, you got Lynn Shay, and Lynn Shay was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. She was in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. She's in every fucking film these days. And honestly, I'm getting tired of seeing her. We were just talking about that. I'm not hating on her. Just she's in a lot of horror movies now. Yeah. She's in all the Insidious movies. She's in all the Ouija movies. She was in she's everywhere now. She's a good actor nonetheless.
Yeah.
You have William Sadler. You have Frankie Vason.
Which, if you saw the picture of him, you would know.
Yeah, I mean, so you have great cast members here, okay? So let's just jump to the movie. The movie, my favorite part about this movie was the introduction. Mm-hmm. Because this Grudge, compared to the original, is different.
It's completely different.
Like, the original, it could manifest itself into certain objects. Like, this one takes more of a spiritual kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's probably not going to make sense the way I'm trying to explain it. Like, this takes like a physical presence of a human being. The other one, it was better at hiding. It can manifest itself into like fucking reflections and pull you in and shit. That's what I liked about the introduction. Like, this woman walks through this house, and she walks out of the house, and she's on the phone. She's like, "Hey, I'm going home. There's some weird shit going on in this house. I'm getting the fuck out." And then you see this arm grab her from this fucking trash bag, right? She gets away. She runs. But the trash bag itself, you can start seeing it breathe. And that was like a direct, perfect thing from the original manifestation from the old Grudge. Okay. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, she goes home. She was overseas. She goes home, and she basically brings the fucking spirits home with her. Because in this one, you don't have one, not two. You have 3 different grudges. Okay. I guess that's what makes it so different. Because this is a family of grudges, not just one. You have fucking 3.
And there's like a specific address to it. It's Rayburn.
Yeah, Rayburn.
Rayburn Drive. I think it's something like that. It's like it's a couple. I don't remember the actual numbers, but I know it's Rayburn Drive. It was like a kind of like how they have that.
Pretty sure it's 45 Rayburn Drive.
I think it might have been 44. I'll have to look it up there. But it's kind of like how they had Nightmare on Elm Street. It was a specific house or whatever. So, and basically she brings it back with her. Mm-hmm. And it basically possesses her to kill her family.
Yeah, and that's another different aspect of what this Grudge does versus the original. In the originals, the Grudge killed himself, you know what I'm saying? It didn't possess you and then kill yourself in order. And that's what we was talking about last night, how the trailer was very misleading with John. And that kind of pissed me off. Yeah. Like, it was so misleading.
Because that part happened, and I was thinking, okay, so and it pulled him in like he was gonna be he was the main character. Nope. It literally started like he was gonna be the main character. Like after that scene, it shows like a detective and that like 2 detectives go in, and one of the detectives basically goes crazy from inside the house. He starts losing his sanity over the years, and then it goes to before they found the bodies, which was it was John Cho. His name is Peter, and his wife. God, what's her name? Is it Nina?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Nina.
Nina. He's got the names over there.
And John, well, I guess I should call him Peter. He's a
Peter.
real estate agent. He was selling to people the house.
And they actually showed it was like they're about to have a kid. The kid had some kind of disease.
I think it's ADL.
Yeah. Or ALD.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. So he's trying to sell the house. He basically breaks one of the cardinal rules of horror films. If no one answers, don't go in the fucking house.
Nope.
So he goes in the house.
Well, you saw the little girl there.
Yeah, that's right. He saw the little girl. And
which is the Grudge.
yeah.
He didn't know it because he just takes like human form and starts having these fucking nosebleeds and shit.
And he's trying to help her and trying to get her to call her mom or dad.
Nobody's answering.
He kept calling the phone that no one's answering.
And he's there for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
By that point, I would have called the fucking police by then.
Exactly.
But the thing is, if you enter the house, you're basically inviting them into your life and like basically giving them permission to fucking stalk you, possess you, whatever the fuck they please.
Because eventually, he goes home.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, it's already possessed him, and he actually does the same thing as the original family. He kills his wife and their unborn child and takes his own life.
He drowns himself in the fucking bathtub.
Yeah. So
not like full body, like head, bathtub.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, so why did they do that to me in the trailer? Like, because that's the second time I've seen a movie where they misled like that. The biggest one was Godzilla, because did you make it seem like Bryan Cranston was the fucking main character?
I feel like they did that because he was, I guess, the most well-known actor to date. And it was like, hey, we got to have him in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, fuck you. So we're introduced to Detective Muldoon and Detective Goodman. And Detective Goodman was a detective who worked the case 2 years prior when all the shit went down. So he's never walked into the house and he will never go in the house because my man's smart. Like, he knows what's up. But William Sadler plays Detective Wilson, who was also on the case, and he
did go in the house.
He did go in the house.
And he starts losing his mind.
Yeah, he starts losing his fucking sanity, boy. He goes crazy. So at one point, because you have this new couple, that's where Lynn Shay and William, they move into the house, which their character names are Matheson, the Matheson family. So, and you see Detective Wilson out there just staring at him. Like, it was pouring down rain. So they call him, and Detective Goodman comes like, hey, man, you got to stop this shit.
And basically what they're doing is they kind of go back and forth. Because, like, sometimes it's...
Yeah, it jumps timelines.
Yeah, it jumps timelines. Because Muldoon finds a woman that, in the house, and she's kind of, like, freaking out, and, like, she was covered in blood and everything. And it was also, one of the first cases she worked, there was a woman that was decayed in the front seat of a car. They crashed in the middle of the fucking woods.
Nobody found her for...
But that was from this, because what it was the Mathesons, he hired somebody for his wife.
Because she was losing her shit.
And the woman tried to help her, and she was said she was talking to somebody, and then the therapist basically was like, was she a therapist or was she something else?
Well, here's the thing. I took it as, like, the fucking husband planned on having her killed.
No, he was.
Yeah. And, like, I guess his thinking was, like, he knew there were spirits in the house. He didn't have no problem. I guess his hope was that when she died, her spirit would still be there, and that way they could be together once again in that weird fucking aspect. You know what I'm saying? But she would still be her.
I also think it was because of how far gone she was.
Yeah, because she was, whoo.
Yeah, she was fucking crazy. And the other one was not down for that.
No, like she made it clear, she has to be mentally fucking competent for me to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the fuck she was. Executioner, I guess.
I don't know what that was. But basically, at one point she gets freaked out in the house because she sees some shit. And that's how she gets in the car. And it pops up in the back seat of a car. She crashes. She dies.
But before that, it turns out Mrs. Madison, the old lady that goes crazy, killed William, her husband. And she goes to fucking cut her own goddamn fingers off.
And she does.
I mean, she fucking goes off the wall. That's why old girl rushed out of the house and had the car accident. Okay, so going back to William Sadler, when Detective Goodman goes picks his partner up, he's freaking out. Oh my God, stuff's building up. He's seeing him. Fucking shoots himself in the face. Not like in the temple. He makes the mistake of doing it right here.
Yeah.
And so he goes into fucking mental asylum.
Yeah.
I think 2 years later, because this takes place in like 04 and 06, right?
Yeah.
So Muldoon takes it upon herself to kind of look over the old case and starts picking pieces together.
Like she's going to take over.
And she's going to go visit Detective Wilson in the asylum. That doesn't go well.
It doesn't?
When she leaves, he tears his fucking eyes out. Like, because he keeps seeing them. And I don't think he dies in the movie, but if you survive that, you're a fucking G.
It was basically like he was telling her, like, anybody who goes in the house is going to get the curse. And that's why he was still seeing them. And because he was tired of seeing them, even in that mental asylum, took his fucking eyes out. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
And like what he was screaming was like, I can still feel them watching me. Could you imagine that though?
That would be fucking insane.
You would want to die.
Yeah.
Just fuck it. So the same thing happens to Detective Muldoon. Okay, never Detective Goodman because he never goes in the house.
Mm-mm.
He ain't got to fuck with it.
Another smart character in a comparison.
Very smart. Like that was probably my favorite character of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
My man's smart. So the female detective, she starts seeing him, and she eventually starts losing her shit. She can't go outside without seeing the fucking. Because again, this is 3 grudges. You got the female,
There's
the mother, the husband, and the daughter.
Mm.
So she sees all 3 of them. So she goes to the house to burn it down. Because she thinks that she burns the house down to eliminate the spirits. So she goes that. But when she does that, she goes in the house and she sees the grudge tells her basically her story of how it happened. Which is, I didn't expect that part. I'm kind of on the fence on if that takes away the edge of the grudge for me because it really doesn't make sense. Like if that curse followed you from overseas, like yeah, I get it made you kill them, but it made it seem like she willingly did it, Yeah. And then off herself. That's the only thing I kind of
again, because it does take away from like how the original Grudge films go. Because that's not the case. Like
this works differently in this film.
Which that's just probably just the director taking their own spin on it. Oh,
and the iconic scene of the fucking hand on the back of the head in the shower, they waste no time getting to that. Mm-hmm. Within 15, 20 minutes,
it's there.
John Child's in the shower, it's there. I hate when fucking movies do that. Mm-hmm. They do the most iconic scenes within the first 7 minutes. Hey, let's just get that out the way. Mm-hmm.
Say what?
Also, there was one point where like Muldoon's like sitting on the couch and her dog was like she like felt the dog was licking her.
Licking her leg, yeah.
And then she's like, stop, and she looked and the dog wasn't there. Like the dog was nowhere fucking there, but something was licking her leg. So she's just freaking out.
These grudges are perverts, man.
Yeah. Ultimately, she does burn the house down.
This is the first time the grudge imitates her son, Burke. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, she's fucking smart. She didn't fall for it.
No, because she wanted to test it.
Yep.
And like basically like said something that they normally said to each other.
Yeah, they have this thing where like when you get scared, close your eyes and count to 5. They always ask each other to make themselves feel better. And they didn't know, so it's just like, hey, I ain't falling for this bullshit. So she sets the house on fire.
Yep.
And they live happily ever after. No, wrong. So the next morning, they're back at their house.
And she's getting ready to take him to school.
So Bert walks out, and she gives him a hug, and behind her back, down the hall, you see Bert, the real Bert, getting his book bag. He's like, Mom, I'm going to school. And then you look back, and then it's the little daughter grudge, and the mother pulls her down the hall, and the fucking daughter grudge is like, bye-bye. And that's it. That's it. I mean, I guess it makes sense because the curse, now that she burned the house down, it's going to take over this house.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Also, we found out that there was another ending to this film, which after they burned the house down, it just shows her and Burke driving to a new house, getting out, pulling into the driveway, opening the door, and then credits roll.
That's it, huh?
I don't know which one I'd hate worse. I
feel like I would hate that one worse.
I would.
It's just so bland.
Yeah.
Not this one was great, but I mean, that's...
I guess.
Overall, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I was highly disappointed in the movie.
I mean, it doesn't do the original film any justice at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it felt so rushed, and like throughout the whole movie, like even though we told you a lot of what made it seem like interesting stuff, there was no climax throughout the movie. There was no oh shit moment. There was no like oh my god, this is it. Nothing. It was just
because when we talked about like the Child's Play reboot, at least in that one, it did like justice to sort of justice to the original film.
Yeah, I mean, like even though I don't particularly like that film, it's a great film in its own aspect. Mm-hmm. It had a great climax.
Exactly.
It had a showdown. I mean, they did good. Mm-hmm. This movie had none of that. I mean, it was just a slow burn throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So
it was like it did like a little bit of a jump at the beginning, and then just plateaued right there the rest of the way.
Yeah, because like the intro sucked you in, but after that it was. Oh, it had a few good moments, like when the crazy bitch cut her fingers off. Oh, and she goes to the insane asylum and fucking kills herself, by the way. But other than that, this movie don't have much going for it.
No.
What was it, 22% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah. Which basically I would do the same. I would agree. Like it's basically like
It's another generic waste of time reboot.
I'd give it like a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
So let us know what you thought about it. If you watched it. If you actually liked it, please tell us why. If you got anything else you want us to check out, let us know. Tell us what you think about the merch. But until next time, y'all, deuces.
Adios.
Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip hop.